Why does my roommate have strangers calling him at 2 a.m.?
I moved in with my roommate Kyle about 6 months ago. Chill guy, quiet, paid rent on time, the kind of roommate you barely notice except for the occasional late night snack runs. Everything was normal until I realized his phone goes off every single night at exactly 2:03 a.m. Not random times, not weekends only, every night. 2:03 a.m., unknown number. At first, I figured it was work, maybe a weird shift or overseas clients, but he never answered when I was around. His phone would buzz on the kitchen counter or coffee table, and he'd just stare at it until it stopped. Then he'd flip the phone face down like it offended him. After the first week, I joked about it. "Bro, who keeps calling you at demon hours?" He laughed, but it wasn't a normal laugh, more like a "please drop this" laugh. "Spam," he said, "just spam." Cool, whatever. Except it kept happening. Every night, 2:03 a.m., different number each time. One night, I got up to get water, and his phone started ringing on the couch. He was in the shower. Screen lit up right as I walked by. No contact name, just a number, but under it, a city name. Phoenix, Arizona. We live nowhere near Phoenix. It stopped ringing before I could think too much about it. Kyle came out of the bathroom and saw me looking at his phone. He grabbed it a little too fast and went, "Telemarketers don't sleep, I guess." That should have been the end of it, but then I started noticing the pattern. Every call was from a different city. Chicago, Dallas, Seattle, Miami, always 2:03 a.m., always unknown number. And after each call, Kyle would leave the apartment for like 20 minutes. No explanation, just hoodie on, out the door, back again. I asked once where he goes, and he just said, "Walk, helps me sleep." At 2 a.m.? In November? Yeah, okay. So one night I decided if the phone rang and he wasn't there, I'd answer. I didn't even have to wait long. He went out with friends on a Friday. Around 1:45 a.m., he texted, saying he might crash at someone's place. I stayed up gaming, totally forgot about it, until I heard buzzing from the kitchen. 2:03 a.m. His phone, on the counter, lighting up the whole room. Unknown number, New York. I stared at it for a solid 5 seconds, debating if I should be a good person or a curious one. Curiosity won. I answered and put it on speaker. "Hello?" Silence. Then a guy's voice, calm like he'd been expecting someone else. "Is this him?" I froze. Wrong number. Another pause. Then he says, "He moved again?" My stomach dropped. "What?" The guy exhales like he's annoyed. "Tell him we're still waiting. Same time tomorrow." Then he hangs up. I just stood there in the kitchen, holding Kyle's phone like I'd picked up a live wire. He got home around 3 a.m., walked in, saw me sitting on the couch with his phone in my hand, and immediately knew something was off. "You answered it." Not even a question. I told him exactly what happened, word for word, the guy asking if it was him, saying he moved again, saying they were still waiting. Kyle just sat down across from me and rubbed his face like his life had finally caught up to him. Then he goes, "They think I'm someone else." I stared. "What?" He explains that before he got this number, it belonged to some guy who ran something sketchy. Not illegal exactly, but close enough. Underground poker games, high-stakes stuff. People still had the number saved, still called every night expecting him. At first, Kyle tried to explain to callers they had the wrong number. Didn't work. They didn't believe him. Some got aggressive, so he just started ignoring it and going for walks until the calls stopped. I'm sitting there processing this when his phone buzzes again. Text message. Unknown number. He looks at it, goes pale. I lean over. Message reads, "You answered tonight. That means you're ready to talk." Kyle immediately turns his phone off. We didn't sleep much that night. Next morning, he went to the carrier and changed his number. New SIM, new everything. Problem solved, or so we thought. First night with the new number, quiet. Second night, quiet. Third night, I finally slept properly. Then on night 4, at exactly 2:03 a.m., my phone rang. Unknown number, different city, Chicago. I let it ring, didn't answer. Voicemail popped up a few seconds later. I played it on speaker. Same calm voice from before. Wrong roommate. Click. Neither of us spoke. The room just felt smaller. Kyle finally stood up and locked our apartment door. Then he checked it again. Then he slid a chair under the handle like we were in a movie. "Okay," I said slowly. "That's not a coincidence anymore." He nodded once, didn't argue. After that night, things changed. Not in a dramatic way, in a quiet way that somehow made everything worse. Kyle stopped answering unknown numbers completely. He started sleeping with his phone powered off, not silent, off. Like he thought if the phone didn't exist, none of this did either. I started noticing little things. He'd leave the apartment randomly at night and just walk around the block, said he wanted fresh air, but he always came back exactly 20 minutes later like he was timing something. One night I followed him. Didn't tell him, just waited 5 minutes, then went downstairs and stayed across the street. He walked to the corner, stood under a streetlight and just waited, looking at his phone, looking up, looking around. No one showed. He eventually came back upstairs like nothing happened. I asked him about it the next day. He said sometimes the calls stopped faster if he wasn't home, like whoever was calling expected him somewhere else. That sentence stayed with me. A week later, we were sitting on the couch watching a movie when his TV suddenly cut to black. Not off, just black. Then text appeared on the screen. Not a notification, not an app, just plain white text like someone typed it manually. Wrong location. Kyle grabbed the remote. Nothing worked. He unplugged the TV from the wall. Screen went dark. We plugged it back in. Normal again. Streaming menu. Like nothing happened. We didn't finish the movie. That night, we both slept in the living room with the lights on like two grown adults who suddenly forgot how electricity works. 2 days passed. Quiet. Almost normal. Then a package showed up. No shipping label, no courier knock, just sitting outside our door when I got home from work. Medium-sized brown box, my name written on top in thick marker. I brought it inside before I really thought about it, set it on the counter, called Kyle. "Did you order something?" "No." We opened it together, slowly. Inside was a cheap prepaid flip phone, fully charged, powered on. As soon as Kyle lifted it out of the box, it started ringing. He almost dropped it. We both just stared at this little glowing screen vibrating in his hand, unknown number calling, no caller ID, just ringing. We could each hear our hearts pounding. "Answer it," I whispered. He shook his head. It rang for a full 30 seconds, then stopped. Voicemail notification popped up instantly. Kyle put it on speaker. Same calm voice, same tone, like we were already in the middle of a conversation. "You keep changing tables." Pause. "We're patient." Click. Kyle powered the phone off instantly, hands shaking slightly. We sat there in silence for a long time after that, neither of us really knowing what to say anymore. That night, neither of us slept. Around 4:30 a.m., I heard something from Kyle's room, not loud, just movement, like someone pacing slowly. I got up and knocked lightly. "Kyle?" No answer. I opened the door. He was asleep, dead asleep, but the closet door was open. Inside the closet, wrapped in that towel on the floor, the prepaid phone was on, screen glowing faint blue. On the screen was a timer counting down. 05 minutes, 04:99, 04:98. I just stood there watching it tick down, my brain trying to catch up. When it hit 0, the screen changed. New message displayed. Seat confirmed. Then it powered off completely. Next morning, Kyle finally told me everything he hadn't been saying. The guy who used to own his original number wasn't just running poker games. He owed people money, a lot of money. And before he vanished, he apparently promised a final game, one last table to settle everything. Never showed, never paid, just disappeared. But the invitations had already gone out, and the only contact listed was that phone number, which Kyle accidentally inherited. "So they think you're him?" I asked. He nodded slowly. "Or they think I know where he is. Either way, they're not letting it go." We decided to move, immediately. No waiting, no overthinking. New city, new lease under my name. Kyle paid cash for everything. We told almost nobody. Packed in 2 days and left before sunrise like we were escaping something. The drive felt normal, almost peaceful. No calls, no weird messages, nothing following us on the highway. We started laughing about it halfway there, like maybe we had overreacted. Maybe it was all just an elaborate wrong number nightmare. First month in the new place? Perfect. No calls, no packages, no random tech glitches. Kyle started acting like himself again, sleeping normally, going out, even joking about how paranoid we got. I started believing we were actually done with it. Then last night happened. We were both home, quiet evening, just eating takeout and watching something stupid, windows open, relaxed. Kyle's new phone buzzed. Unknown number. He stared at it, looked at me, let it ring, stopped. Voicemail notification. He didn't want to play it. I did, so I hit speaker. Background noise first, chips clinking, low voices, like a crowded room. Then that same calm voice. "You found a new table." Pause. Buy-ins overdue. Click. Kyle powered his phone off instantly, hands shaking slightly. We sat there in silence for a long time after that, neither of us really knowing what to say anymore. This morning, I left for work early, tried to shake it off, tell myself it was just some group of bored idiots who refused to let go of a number that doesn't belong to them anymore. But when I got home tonight, the apartment felt off. Not messy, not broken, just slightly different, like when someone moves one object in a room and you can't immediately tell what changed. I walked into the kitchen and stopped. On the counter, right in the center, was a single black poker chip. Heavy, real, not cheap plastic. I picked it up slowly and turned it over, engraved in tiny letters on the center, Table 6. Kyle hasn't gotten home yet, and I'm currently sitting here staring at that chip on the counter, trying to decide if I should tell him.